G2 heavy favorites and defense, so it's very comfortable for them to start on this side of the map. For Gen.G though, I don't mind it, right? Because I feel like in some ways there's more pressure when you're defending that skyscraper first up. There's more expectation. You've got to get rounds on the board. But ultimately they're starting on the attack, and therefore they can come out guns blazing, see if they can get a couple of attacking rounds, take those primary sides, put G2 on the back foot early. That's got to be really their only win condition. You've got to start well here.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just a little bit confused that we are heading to Skyscraper to begin with. It's not a map that's particularly popular in BO1 formats, so yeah, I'm intrigued to see how this plays out. Gen.G are going to be under a lot of pressure here to start off well on attack. It is, I believe, globally, statistically, the hardest map in the entire game currently to attack into. It's an incredibly low percentage, so they'll be scrapping for as many rounds as they can possibly get. 2, probably the benchmark. 3 would be bonus, and anything beyond that would be incredible. So let's see how Gen.G go. Intrigued to see how it plays out. Of course, again, big spotlight, if you haven't joined the pre-show, on Stompin for this game. His debut on LAN, had an incredible Stage 1, and now looking to replicate that here at EWC 25.
Yeah, I was having a quick look as well, email playoffs, in terms of like what were the maps played, did we see some Skyscraper, what were the ban veto sections on it, and in the end, it was, you know, G2 and Gen.G, no one really playing either Skyscraper all that much, and so, yeah, it is a bit surprising.
So the ban's playing out for this particular first half. Obviously, we now have a new ban system comparatively to last year, in which there'll be 6 total as we enter the 4th round of each respective half. It's Monty, Habana, Kaid, and Bandit. So that will alleviate some of the pressure in terms of hard breach here for the attack. Should make opening up some of these walls a little bit easier. Remove some of the util clearance that will be required here by Gen.G, and they can actually now pivot towards more execute-sensitive utility. They have the Glaz, for instance, that will be self-sufficient with the smokes. You have the bees as well. And even the Rayora in play, which has seen mixed success from the teams that we've been able to watch, especially in APL. So I'm intrigued to see how Skies will implement it here for their opening attack.
Yeah, I mean, off the bat, you bring that Glaz opening round attack Skyscraper, it's going to have to be a big factor. They do lose the Rayora, though, which we know at times can have that mixed success, like you were saying. So Skies will go down. That was one that you were kind of highlighting on the desk as well. Not a good start for Gen.G, but it's also the way that G2 kind of need to play here, Skyscraper. They know that Gen.G are probably going to want to play aggressive, try and get in their face a little bit. But you want to play these windows positions. You want to deny the entry positions. Keep Gen.G outside of the map for as long as possible. Aggressive, though. Loira already has one. Looking for the second. Blackbeard in play, though. Oh, nice shot, though, from Nako. Okay, shuts down the aggressive Loira, and the follow that is Doki as well. So Gen.G suddenly with that player advantage, and they've got plenty of time on the clock as well.
Stompin, though, to find one back with the DMR. So a 3 versus 3. No smokes left for the Glaz. So that's really going to hinder Nako's ability to get full use from the Glaz. Asa still below, could look for Verd, maybe a lurk up the stairs. And the Blackbeard can frontline with shield. Alamal will go searching for a bit of information. Yellow ping below. 60 seconds. Thinks better of it after spotting out that drone.
Yeah, 5 drones still remaining for Gen.G, so they should not be short on information. Azok's actually taking a big chunk of damage on the Blackbeard. Nako's going to go searching. Still 45 seconds on the clock, so Gen.G don't have to rush this too much, but into the site now. Nako can go for the plant stick if he so chooses, but very much would be aware of the fact that G2 playing off-site will look to come in and go for the retake and deny this plant. Nako looking to stick, and if he can get inside of office, suddenly they can play the post plant, and they will. 40 seconds now on the clock, but here comes G2.
Yeah, it's quite cramped in the post here for Gen.G, and Blaz will aggress, but with the Blackbeard in his face, it's difficult to have much impact and difficult to take space. Knocked to the ground, should be taken out, and is.
That's going to make it very difficult now for G2 in the post plant. Azok shut down Stompin. No rookie sensational start to the EWC. And with that knock, though, onto Azok's. That's the Blackbeard. That's the shield down. And Alamau now in the 1v2. But only 18 seconds doesn't give him a whole lot of time. Player outside knows that full well that they're going to be playing outside of the site itself. Alamau tagged up already. There's nowhere safe, and there's no time remaining. It is the underdogs that are going to take the opening round here at the Esports World Cup. Gen.G will take the first round on the attack of Skyscraper against the EML champions.
They're vocal, very vocal after winning that opening round. And I think that's actually very understandable considering, again, the map that we are on, attacking into a primary site like that on Skyscraper, getting a plant down really while playing into the wing cons. They still got full use out of the Blackbeard, and even with the Glass negated towards the end, they were able to more than make up for that. So some really good, clean attacking there to kick things off, and that was even despite the opening duel going against them. So I'm sure they'll be quite happy with that. It's very difficult to fight back from a disadvantage on attack in general in Siege, but specifically on this map, it is very, very challenging.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, well, that means a good way to kickstart things, because I think many would have pegged this to be rather one-sided. And when you got G2 starting defense Skyscraper, well, then that probably leans more into that one-sidedness, doesn't it? Now, by the way, the winner of this game, I don't know if we touched on it on the desk, will play the winner of Weibo versus Shopify Rebellion. That game happening as well. And we've got essentially 3 separate games all happening at once, guys. So there's a lot of shouting. It's very much that LAN live environment that we've got here at the Esports World Cup. And we obviously got to hear very briefly the cheers from Gen.G. And that's the thing as well, like if Gen.G start well, that puts pressure then on a team like G2. You've got no expectations. I mean, G2 have gone into events previously in the past where they probably haven't had a lot of expectation at Majors, at the Six Invitational. Well, there is a massive expectation here at the Esports World Cup.
Changing mags.
I see DZ and FaZe walking into the building as well. Of course, our match of the day
here.
It's
Kangaroo Kenny as well, so we're going to get some real loudness coming in later with the DZ game.
Can't wait. Really looking forward to that one. So round 2 then. Bit of a pivot from the attack. We're going to see the Blitz employed. And the Sense as well, in combination with Rayora. So very execute heavy here. Perhaps indicating that they'll look to go a little bit more direct towards the objective as opposed to a map clear. Aided by the fact that Nako's gotten a good lurk established down below. Laura, though, does find the first. That will be the trigger point for the attack now to push through over towards Geisha, but Stompin gets one as well.
Yeah, a bit more early aggression from G2. Rather than holding the positions, it's more so seeking to take the fights on their terms. So far, so good in the second round. Tertiary site as well, sorry, primary site. Nice fire back from Azza. Will get the kill onto Stompin. Just keeps things alive for Gen.G. 3v2, never really impossible for Azza and Skies. Got a decent amount of utilities still to work with in terms of the ROU from the Sense. Rayora gates as well, so they can very much block off a lot of lines of sight, get themselves entries. And that's really, I guess, the point of these 2 operator selections coming into a map like Skyscraper. Help alleviate those entries. Barbed wire, noise made. So expecting maybe someone to swing from drums. Laz is inside there as well on the Melusi. Just over a minute left, trying to just poke and prod. Got warded off by the gas babe. There was one tucked in left side of drum. That's Blaz. He has not moved just yet. And then if they can find a way to get him out of that position, find the kill, then it's a 2v2, so still winnable. They make contact. He gets taken low, but so does Azza. Another one in drum to help out as well. That's Slura coming in. Now fully tucked in, but Azza's down. This guy knows that Blaz is stuck in that corner, but he hasn't really got the resources to get him out. Block the door, go for the res, but then there's only 40 seconds left. G2 have definitely got this round on their terms.
Oh, Blaz caught. 30 seconds, and now it just makes things a little bit more intriguing. Sure, the attack lacking utility, but now with the ability to potentially try and trade this out.
Close. Shotgun. Expectated, though, by Skies. 19 seconds. They're clearly trying to just give themselves the best avenue possible to go for this win con. Oh, the door peek didn't fully connect onto Skies from Doki. Does eventually get the kill, and he'll get the second as well. And G2 are on the board at EWC 25. A little bit messy towards the end, but I like the start of the round for G2. Certainly far better, more on their terms to begin that second round.
Yeah, and despite it getting scrappy towards the end, I still think they're playing into the correct win conditions there, right? The attack, maybe unknowingly to them, severely lacked utility to dislodge positions. So realistically, the only way you lose that is by over-peaking. And sure, Blaz got caught on a reposition, but the others did not over-peak. They caught their timings correctly, and they played positions that were optimal given the weapons that they also had in hand as well. So yeah, good response from G2, good early round aggression, getting in the face of the attack. And I think that that's kind of the disruptive play style that probably suits them and is going to do a better job in making Gen.G uncomfortable. Now we go over towards bedroom now. This is certainly the tertiary side on this particular map. Most teams will elect to go over towards kitchen first, so a bit of a switch up here. certainly a site that can be defended well. If you're able to contest above on the vert, make it difficult for Gen.G to disrupt, it can be a very awkward site to try and find entry on and find a plant position.
Yeah. Oh, it's a curveball kind of side selection, really.
It's one of the stranger ones in the game.
Yeah, it is. It's basically saying to Gen.G, do you know what you're doing when you're attacking into this site? Because you better, because we've got ourselves certainly an idea as to what we want to do. I've got the... I don't think this is right. I'm not going to reference it, but there's 107 rounds played at Skyscraper. I am going to reference it. Only 1 round played at Bedroom Bathroom. So I don't know if that's actually correct. That's
global?
Global.
Yeah, right.
From July to now.
Honestly, I wouldn't contest that.
100% defensive win rate.
Okay. It's the best side of the game. What's the attack win rate on Skyscraper overall? It's really low, right?
Yeah, 35%. So, I mean, we mentioned it before. Skyscraper's always going to be rather defender-sided. Any round, like, usually in the... Like, we would say Gen.G only need probably, like, 1 more attacking round. Sets them up nicely.
And that's why winning that initial primary side in the way they did was clearly why they were so excited. Deadshot now entering over towards the side entrance. Salma out. Bit of a distraction now under pressure. Could be prone to the swing. Took some damage. Oh, and almost caught again.
Yeah, very lucky there. Oh, also
Hey.
a chance though. I mean, a little bit scrappy to start this 3rd round.
All Salma's now expended, so that wall will not be opened from range. Elsewhere though, Nako does find the first. Doki, who got caught in an awkward position near house stairs, finally falls.
Yeah, gets rid of the mirror as well. With that, a Nitrocell would be taken off the board. Nako finds a second, walks in, gets rid of Alamau. Deadshot trying to make his way in as well, although Nako does eventually get caught. Blaz will put an end to his escapades over towards Bar. He got 2 though, so still an advantage for Gen.G, but Blaz finds another. Stompin will fall to Skies. Gen.G already searching for a 2nd attacking round. Loira and Blaz to see if they can hold strong here on the tertiary site, but so far no good. Loira falls. Down to Blaz in the 1v3. Skies to go down. Asa will look to stick that plant. Will do so, and with the Blackbeard in the post plant, it should be difficult, and it is. There's a 2nd attacking round for Gen.G. They're happy, they're pumped. And not a lot of noise made from the camp of G2.
It's the benchmark. They have reached the attacking benchmark on this map against an opposition that finished 1st in their respective league. Again, this is 1st v 5th in EML. It is a best of 1, and so we have to temper expectation a little bit, but still, a loss here for G2 would be pretty crazy, and they're not off to the best of sides. It's certainly salvageable, don't get me wrong. But losing that site, the fashion in which they did, I thought they may have cooked up a little bit.
Well, there's always upsets at any tournament. As much as we can look at favorites, and we can look at contenders, and who's the, you know, the likely of the 2 teams to win? Well, everyone's going to say G2, but there's always upsets in any kind of match. It can happen at any kind of game. But so far, as you said, this game's not done. We only played 3 rounds. And I would imagine G2 have certainly got capabilities of winning their own attacking rounds. But I did say on the desk, I said if Gen.G are going to win this game, they need to start fast, attack Skyscraper, get rounds early, and you could hear what it means to them as well, because they know full well, if they can get these attacking rounds early on, it puts less pressure on them in that 2nd half.
In the 2nd half, that could be quite intriguing. G2 with the best attacking win rate in MENA, and by quite a margin, 60%.
And the 2nd best defense as well, but their one weakness are the entry battles, and so far 3 rounds in, you've lost 2 of them. So that's continued to be a theme already. 3 rounds into EWC from EML Stage 1, where you're struggling in those entries. It means you're constantly playing from behind. And don't get me wrong, with players like Loira and Stompin, you've got capabilities of bringing back 1vx potentials, but you can't do that forever, and certainly not against the best teams later on in this tournament. A big 4th round coming up now. Can Gen.G keep this snowball rolling and continue to build it up to grander heights? Nako's been a really, really good player to kickstart things as well, especially that last round we're talking about. A bar entry, double kill, open things up. And the risk of going to the tertiary site didn't pay off for G2. And they don't ban the Blackbeard either, by the way, despite it being quite prevalent in this 1st half. We did get the bans, Clash and Thermite, to follow up. So double hard breach ban from G2 along with the Montaigne, but it leaves this Blackbeard, which has so far been a bit of a nuisance.
The Valkyrie in play here for defense will be key in gaining info and no IQ on the board for Gen.G to counteract that. A lot of that info, though, is positioned over towards that first floor. So that will come into play later on in the round.
There's only one drone left.
That is a very good point to highlight, which is not going to help on this map clear.
So you got a minute and a half, and you're going to be rather in the dark here for Gen.G. You don't have a whole lot of information gathering outside of now those logic bombs that Nako's just used one, has one more available, plus the one drone, but apparently no issue. Alamau caught down the stairs. Another opening kill, not just for Gen.G, but also for Nako, and Stompin will fall at the hands of Azox. And Gen.G keeps steamrolling their way through Skyscraper. It seems like this map choice has really benefited them greatly. But Loira still alive in a huge double kill from Loira. He is still a demon. And a 2 versus 2 now. And Gen.G, can they convert from the early advantage? Deadshot captures Doki in the back, and it is all down to Loira.
Heads up, though, for the attack. Just the one drone up. Deadshot now in a 1v1.
A crucial moment. 1v1. 40 seconds on the clock. More to do, though, for Deadshot. Loira has done a sensational job to put G2 now into the more favorable position. Deadshot has to come to Loira, and Loira will be waiting. Deadshot goes prone. Just over towards the terrorist, close by to Loira. 20 seconds on the clock. There's the overhead. Goes outside temporarily, but Deadshot has to make his way in through that front door. He has to go straight at Loira and take the fight, and Loira's just better. Huge round for G2, because they looked on the brink of a 3-1 deficit. Now we're all tied up.
Yeah, G2 continuing to look quite vulnerable to the Dokkaebi lurk. Called them out on that occasion, but a really good recovery effort to bring that one back. I think a lack of information as well, potentially making that more difficult as well for Gen.G. A 2-2 scoreline, however, and G2 call their attack timeout.
I mean, rightfully so, right? That's probably a round they should have lost in some ways, or at least it was certainly up for grabs. And Gen.G will be kicking themselves for thinking we could have been 3-1 up. Big moment from Loira. And that's what these events are all about, right? Like, you're going to get your moment. You've got to be ready for it. Loira certainly was. Deadshot slow to start so far in this game. 1-4. Everyone else is firing. He did get a good kill onto Doki in that round, but then you're left 40 seconds, 1v1. You're the attack. You've got to push. It's so difficult. Credit to Loira. 2-2 scoreline. And so far, it's just looking to be a bit of a banger matchup. We kind of penned this one as being heavily one-sided in favor of G2. B-Room and Karaoke coming up for the 5th round.
Yeah, massive round for G2. 3 on attack for Gen.G would have been pretty crippling. Over to Karaoke then for the 5th round, and an opportunity for G2 to look to establish a lead on this map. No massive standout performers outside of that previous clutch really across the board. It's been relatively well spread. I will say Nako's ability, though, especially on these lurks on the Dokkaebi, has been really disastrous. The SMG has been tearing this defense to shreds, and even where maybe they're finding the util clearance or the info gathering on more of the map clearance and standard styles of play, he's often the one to be the one to, make these plays, and it's been really effective.
And he's the 3rd best player in email when it comes to entries. Statistically, only behind Mowgli and Leaky Fact. Nako's 3rd. He's 29-17, so that's a plus 12 differential. So that's a big strength of Gen.G, and if they're to win a game against a team like G2, it's like, we need Nako pushing in, getting kills, getting open kills, and on a map like Skyscraper, that opens up space for the rest of the attack to then funnel in, get map control. Realistically, probably should be almost 3-1 to Gen.G. It was another really good start to that round, but credit to G2, especially to Loira. They stand tall, 2-2, and then I think a very, very good tactical timeout to just let's calm down a little bit. It's a bit hot and heavy, it's a fast start. Let's be a bit more prepared for that entry from Gen.G.
So looking less likely that Nako, at least initially, will go for a lurk. Playing Repel early on this occasion, and with the new Repel mechanic, it gives you the freedom to move and traverse across the map with a lot more ease. Flank Watch as well, interestingly, in play here, so the Nomad on the board suggesting there'll be a bit of map clearance as well on offer.
Slow and steady as well to start this 5th round.
I like the mutes as well in play. You can see Doki playing on one, for instance, and an ability to try and counteract some of the utility on the board from attack.
That's one thing G2 have done really, really well so far in this defensive half is denying the drones and the information from Gen.G. I mean, we're getting 4 drones left, 90 seconds. Only 1 drone at this point last round. Eiko searching for another opening kill on the Dockerby this time on the Repel, but again, slow and steady, and that might just really benefit G2. Gen.G have been at their best when they've been going really fast and early in these rounds, searching for these opening kills to really destabilize the defense. Keep barriers blocking the entry in towards Drum. So Stompin just doing his role nicely here to keep the Blackbeard of Azox at bay for as long as possible, and suddenly there's only 60 seconds left. Some really, really good denial in terms of positioning by G2 against Gen.G.
Stomp and Peels almost got caught karaoke window, but able to now situate himself inside of T-Room as the attack begins to constrict the site. They need to find an entry though, Gen.G, and G2 playing very disciplined and not over-peaking. That has been one of their strengths throughout this map. Dokkaebi enters gunfight, he survives that one, and Alamar finally will find the first of the round.
Yeah, this is much better from G2. More control in this round, slowing the pace down, denying Gen.G entries and positioning, and Alamar goes on a treadmill, and I think this is going to be ourselves a rehost coming up. Oh no.
Well, that's really rough for G2.
That's really rough because they're up 5-2 in the round, and I don't think they're going to get anything from that. I don't know how that's going to work out. We'll find out. Obviously, as we kind of just dissect a little bit as to what's been going on in this first half, it's been Gen.G surprising us all with how they've been playing, of course, to begin with. G2, though, I felt like in that round, it really felt like G2's best was starting to come out from them. They had more control on the round. They denied the entry positions of Gen.G. And they don't really get the benefit right now.
Yeah. Of course, as we hear word on what exactly the determination will be for that round, we'll relay that as quickly as possible.
Well, you can't really, I mean, like, I don't want to get into the semantics of things, but you can't really necessarily say that, like, you've got to give the round to G2. It's not like we've never seen 2v5s before. It's a very, very difficult situation to be in. From my understanding, like, I think it should be just a replayed round. That's just the unfortunate reality for a team like G2, who clearly were doing some really, really good things in that round. Obviously, with the full confirmation, as we look over some of the highlights that have been taking place so far on the opening map here for the B stream. Obviously, for Gen.G, it's been a really, really good start. Still good moments from G2, and certainly Laura had maybe the biggest moment, I think, really, of the game so far. Nice 4K clutch. Wins the 1v1. At that point, had he not done so, it would have been a 3-1 lead for Gen.G. He really stood up. They went into then their attack timeout, and then we obviously saw what they were able to do in response in the most previous round, that of course now being rehosted.
Yeah, I was just having a peek over my shoulder as well, and it looks like the vibes are still pretty good in the G2 camp. I think they have every right to be pretty frustrated after that crash in the previous round, but such is life. There's nothing you can really do about it now. It's all about moving on and just
you're playing T-Room karaoke. You're playing it really, really default. It's all about denial in space and time. And I think it's, though, if you're Gen.G, you're thinking, okay, well, we need to try and do a little bit better and certainly do some different things if we're going to crack that defense on that site. So it really, I'm just being honest, it benefits Gen.G. It really does. It's a round they were definitely going to lose, but never categorically 100%. That's just the reality. Gen.G had that, G2 had that round in the bag, and they played it really, really well. Again, their drone denial has been sensational on a map like Skyscraper. Ever important. You want to deny that information, make it more difficult for the attackers as they're having to clear out all of these key positions, and there's a lot of them on Skyscraper.
Yeah, it was surprising. In that last round where G2 looked really settled and had those preset positions, we didn't see the kind of lurk threat that we have seen previously from Gen.G. A little bit surprised by that, and they didn't find the opening that they needed elsewhere, whether that be like top backstairs or Geisha, something to get some kind of map control. They were left stranded outside the map for a long time. We saw a really nice peel from Stompin over towards Drum. He didn't give away his life and stalled out utility. They just didn't get any ground on the map, and that is sometimes a hallmark of Skyscraper. Getting any semblance of map control can be really, really tricky. But it was a testament to G2 and their ability to play a disciplined brand of Siege. And sure, in the rounds they've lost, they're getting called out by the lurks, etc. But in the rounds that they have won so far. They're doing a great job in consolidating their lead, and I think that's a hallmark of a team that has quite a bit of experience backing them, of course.
Well, the benefit of LAN is we can just quite literally look behind us and see how things are progressing. I don't see too much commotion, and obviously we can see it on the screen as well. I don't really see a whole lot of commotion. I think this is just going to be, hopefully, a standardized rehost. I mean, there's always a case of if there's referee decisions being made in the background that we're obviously not aware of. But certainly some waiting to be done here. And, well, Rainbow Six Siege, welcome to the Esports World Cup. This is what we bring. We bring rehosts and tech pauses, delays, etc. And this is just really part of the whole package.
They have their own little portable fans, the players. I wish we had one up here.
Oh,
it's quite warm.
That's what that is. I was actually wondering what those were. Those look cool. I'm going to request one. It is pretty warm in here. I'm not gonna lie.
Why are you wearing a jumper?
I don't know. I'll change that for tomorrow. Why are you wearing a bomber jacket?
Oh, it's pretty thin.
Is it?
Yeah, no, I'm chilling.
Yeah, I mean, like this is all part of LAN, right? Like the conditions. You know, again, you're not comfortable. You're not at home. Your hands might be a little bit more sweaty. You know, you got a fan in front of you. All these things, they certainly do add up. That's why LANs are the true test. And so far, Gen.G's meeting that test. I mean, they've really been impressive. Nako especially really following up from his EML Stage 1 form when it comes to his entries. He's also good on the 1vx's. Got a rather high cost as well. I mean, so far it's been a really, really good match, and hoping we can get back underway as soon as possible. But yeah, still seeing a couple of admins in the background. Yeah,
they've been discussing for quite some time. Not privy to what that discussion is necessarily about, but again, hopefully we get confirmation at some point in time once a decision is reached. From what I can see, all the players are back into the lobby, so operating under the assumption that we're waiting for admin confirmation that we can resume this match.
I would imagine this is going to be a replayed round. I'd be very surprised if it's anything but. Could be wrong. I mean, I'm not too 100% sure, but
and this break going on now for quite some time, so killing essentially any momentum that's being gathered inside, it will be essentially a full reset.
Well, what's interesting is it's actually been Akta, the coach for Gen.G, that's been the one in most discussion with the referees behind us. I'm not too sure if maybe he's contesting something, if he's not happy about something. Whereas Ramallo has not really been in discussions for G2. I can see the lobby is set up, all 10 players are in, so it really, to me, seems like it's almost like waiting for a decision.
It's the waiting game.
The waiting game begins already. One best of one in for what's going to be a long day as well. We got FaZe versus Dark Zero coming up as well after this. That's a banging game.
I'm not as banging as EP Nip.
And then Enterprise versus Ninjas in Pajamas. How do you think Fisher is going to lead the troops? Oh. So, I mean,
Weibo's making some noise.
Weibo's making a lot of noise. I mean, look, I don't want to spoil, but obviously all the games are happening at once. You got an A, B, C stream. Weibo started waving at Shopify Rebellion. I don't know. I have no idea what the scores are. I can't see. I can only see actually the Weibo players. And they looked quite amped up just then.
Yeah. One of 3 representees of APL.
Yeah, and I mean, over in the APL region, for those that watch it, you know, we've been kind of talking about the teams like FearX, probably maybe the best coming out of APAC at the present time. But Weibo, for me, I've always been saying is I think they've got the best potential. I think they've got the highest ceiling. And maybe a LAN event such as the Esports World Cup could bring the most out of them. Still waiting here, by the way, for our game of Gen.G versus G2, all tied up at 2-2. For those that missed it, we were in the 5th round, and G2 were doing quite well on Tea Room Karaoke. They had a 5-2 player advantage. I think there was about 26 seconds in the round to go, so the round was obviously well and truly live, and I'll serve a crash. We wait.
Yeah, I wonder how G2 would be in the back of their minds assessing this performance thus far, because it didn't get off to the best of starts and they've had some shaky rounds. I expected them to be, essentially dominant in this series, and whilst a best of one can be a little bit flippant in that regard, it has been quite close, and Gen.G have, in the rounds that they've won, again, brought a really intriguing tempo that's been fun to watch and catching G2 off guard at times. So maybe after this reset, Gen.G will try to bring the heat once more. Probably important to note as well that during these tactical timeouts, the players don't have the ability to talk to one another as far as I am aware. Every time I've looked over, they've been pretty quiet. Maybe they're just in solitude, I'm not too sure, but I'd be operating under the assumption that they can't be chatting all too much. Stomper's had an okay map so far. Hasn't been a standout performance from him, but the kind of player that, especially first time on LAN, will take a little bit of time to adjust. And if G2 are to progress deep into this tournament, potentially make main stage, that's when I think he'll really come alive. I'm seeing thumbs up, so maybe that means that something's going to happen soon. Hopefully admin decision has been reached, or about to be reached.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just speaking off of obviously experience and seeing these situations happen. Rare case. I don't think you typically see full-blown crashes like that. Usually it's maybe one player DCs or something, but
more common on LAN historically, but not.
Yeah, I guess a little bit more common on LAN sometimes. But I would have just felt like my initial instinct is just it's a replayed round. Actor is shaking his head right now. I don't think he's too happy. I wonder if we're getting a decision that it might just be a G2 round win. I'm absolutely speculating just off body language of what I'm seeing.
Should note, it is an EWC event as opposed to being as a part of the main circuit, so different rulebook in play.
Yeah, I mean, and also again, part of us just kind of speculating a little bit.
Yeah. Again, once we know, we'll confirm. Teams sharing some pleasantries as we continue to discuss.
But Gen.G are not happy with what's happening right now, I can tell you that much.
G2 look primed and ready. And
G2 look very happy. Gen.G look absolutely annoyed. So again, you can do the 1 + 1 = 2 and probably start to think maybe what might be happening here. Fist pump's going out and back into the game.
What's the score?
What's the score? What is the score? That is a very important question, guys. It's 3-2
wow.
to G2. They have given them the round off of the back of the server host crash. Now, again, for those that missed it or re-clarification, it was a 5-2 player advantage in favor of G2. 26 seconds left of the round, server crash, but obviously, Gen.G will be saying that they could have still always theoretically won the round. Now, it might have been a 1% probability, but G2 have been given the round. Now,
okay.
If we're going to be completely candid, they were going to win the round, right? They were absolutely going to win that round. But if you also want to be candid, whenever there's players alive in the server, there is always a possibility, and you have to respect that. And it looks like we're going to get another rehost.
Yeah, it was, I think, on the ranked settings. So G2 match point, which is, of course, incorrect. So the lobby will be rehosted once more to ensure that the correct settings are in play.
That's some cool music, though.
Is it? I haven't got it very loud. Have you got it loud?
I wouldn't necessarily have it loud. I can just hear it. Yeah, well, yeah, unfortunately, just a lobby issue again here for the second go around. At least we do have the confirmation regarding the scoreline now, so that's locked in. G2 3-2 up. 1 round to go in the half. I just, every now and then, get like random screams in my ear, and I don't know where it's coming from. So I look over, and if it's like, if it's not, well, it's certainly not our game. If it's not Weibo, then it's like, is it Shopify, or is it overall in the A stream? That's a long way away, though.
Have any of the other games actually been completed yet? I would have thought that by now we'd be potentially getting close. Maybe they're both quite close on the ANC streams.
Well, after watching Weibo before, it was they were starting to wave. I don't know how close they were. We're going to have a very short break here, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, hopefully we can continue on with the opening match of the B stream. We leave you here very shortly. It's G2 3-2 up in the series. We'll be back very soon. Alrighty, we're back here for G2 versus Gen.G. Still only 2-2 in this match. Well, actually, sorry, 3-2, I should say. The round was given to G2 after the crash, and we will continue on Skyscraper. Hopefully, no more issues pertaining for this one, which would be great. Interesting results that are happening on the other stream. We thought maybe Wayward were up, but apparently they're down. I don't know. They must have like a big clutch round because they looked really happy earlier. Now they don't. And of course, over on the A stream, there is another game happening as well. But shouldn't be too far away from getting things back underway here on Skyscraper. And this is going to be a really big test now, especially for Gen.G, because obviously they're not too happy with the result, with the decision. But you got to lock in now, especially the players. Let the coaches, let the staff members, let them take care of things behind the scenes. But like for the players, you're still in a really competitive match. It's 2-3. You've already got your 2 attacking rounds in Skyscraper. You've been playing well. Nako especially has been playing really, really well on the entries. If you can get this 3rd round, why does it say match point?
I think the lobby may be incorrect again.
Well, it's going to be another rehost.
Add it to the list. Well, apologies again for the delay. The lobby settings will need to be reset.
I imagine we're going to have another break coming up here very shortly. And, well, G2 has started reclining the chairs. They want to relax a little bit because they know this could take a little bit longer.
Going to be a long day here.
It might be a very, very long day, that's for sure. We've got obviously a lot of games to get through, and so far we haven't been able to finish the first half. These things happen, especially in Siege. We know full well. These things do take its toll on the game, unfortunately. And it takes the toll, obviously, for the players, and that's going to be the big thing now as well. Like, you got to just kind of sit back, relax, try not to be too stressed out, because it can be stressful.
Yeah, you have to try your best to not let it tilt you. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Just completely chill. Next round is basically a full reset.
Don't get me wrong, it's very difficult to kind of like stay locked in now. You almost have to actually, okay, do what we're seeing here and lay back, chill a little bit, take a bit of time, take a breather, reset. When we get back into the game, then we re-lock in. Oh, we are going to go to a short break, of course, while we do get this game back underway. Hopefully, when we return, we can continue with Skyscraper. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here for the Esports World Cup Rainbow Six Siege X. It's the B stream. It's G2 versus Gen.G. Yes, we've had some technical difficulties, but hopefully we can return and get underway very, very shortly. 3-2 scoreline in favor of G2. One more round to go in this first half, guys, and now we kind of turn our attention to, well, outside things, right? Like, these players are now kind of a little bit more cooled off, not as locked in. It's a bit of a reset for both of the two teams, evenly matched, and it's going to be a matter of who can just lock in quicker, who can start off of this break a little bit better. And obviously for Gen.G, it's still a huge round. You win this, you get a third attacking round, sets you up for that second half. But I have that sneaky feeling. My head says that this might benefit G2 because they looked a little bit more of the two teams, a bit shakier to kickstart. Realistically, they could have, maybe should have been 3-1 down if it wasn't for Lora picking up a 4K and a 1v1 clutch in the same round. Ultimately, these are the kind of moments where if G2 win this next round, it's a 4-2 half, job done skyscraper, and then they might just run away with the momentum. So this is a big test now for Gen.G to just bottle this energy and try and put it all into the server and not be too stressed out about what's been happening outside of the server.
I'm seeing the lobby load up. 3-2 G2 with the lead, no bans in play, so hopefully we could just know what they are and type them in the chat. Please don't rehost again, that would be great. Yeah,
we don't need, like, so bans are a one where you can technically do, and sometimes it is also a case where it doesn't always show, but it's not a rehostable thing. You can just very much type in chat, these are the bans, don't pick it, and let's carry on, please. No, we can't.
So unfortunately we will have another rehost to ensure that the operator bans and all the lobby settings are correct. So apologies for another delay. Again, G2 up 3-2 on the map. Another break to come in a moment's time, but some teething issues. Sometimes that can happen, not the end of the world. We'll get it sorted. Some laughs being shared across the two teams, trying to make the best of it.
I think it's delirious. I saw Doki just like absolutely take his headset off and he's just done. By the way, in terms of the results, we saw Shopify Rebellion. They did take out Weibo, I think it was 7-5. I mean, that's a competitive result for the Asian team of Weibo Gaming.
I don't think I've seen A-Stream wrap up yet, so maybe that one's pushing OT, potentially. I don't know, I might have a
A-Stream's a bit further distance away from where we're currently standing.
It's a big warehouse. Let me find it quickly. Ooh, yeah, it is. I mean, I'm watching on the delayed feed, but Falcon's currently up 5-4. They're also on Skyscraper, funnily enough.
Interesting.
Secret looking competitive. That's interesting.
Well, I mean, I think the expectation in that particular match was that Secret were always going to be, that was always probably anticipated to be a competitive game. I was actually speaking in the way over this morning with James and Nick, Devin Pengu, who obviously casting that game, and they kind of wanted to put that as their match of the day. Like, they were pretty adamant on Falcons and Secret being a really, really good game, and so far it looks like on the A stream that's exactly what's taking place.
I'd be intrigued to know what the players are saying to one another. It's a bit difficult to tell from here. Trying to keep the vibe up as best as possible.
I'm doing leg stretches here to just keep the blood pumping, you know. I just...
How are the legs holding up? We've been standing now for a little while. We did take a seat last week.
We had a quick
just to
2-minute
relax
break. That was nice. Little sit down. I need to get one of those fans. We need to ask him and see if we can steal one of those. That'd be great.
Run down and pinch one. Because we are also the closest to the outside door, and that heat is extreme.
And then, by the way, to add a little bit of context now to the game that hopefully we can have very soon is obviously Shopify Rebellion. They've won their game, so that's over in the same group that we're covering, Group A. So it means the winner of the game that we're covering now, G2 versus Gen.G. Winner plays Shopify Rebellion in the upper bracket semi-final. And that's, of course, a best of one as well. That is scheduled to be played in 2 hours. I'm not too sure if we will reach that schedule in 2 hours with the way this game is tracking, but of course then the winner of that particular game, Shopify versus one of these two, would then qualify for the playoffs. So that could be a good, imagine G2 versus Shopify. Right now, it could even be Gen.G versus Shopify. For Weibo Gaming, of course, that means they drop down to that lower bracket quarterfinal match. Now, anything in the lower bracket, best of threes. So, but there are going to be teams eliminated today on the first day of EWC. 4 teams qual, 4 teams go home.
Pretty brutal format.
Pretty brutal.
If you have an off day, you will get punished.
Well, judging by the screams over on the A stream, I do wonder who was leading. Was Falcons leading?
Falcons are up 5-4 on the delayed feed. Although maybe I would have thought they, at this point, if there's some cheers, it may have been them winning, but I don't see them getting out for their seats just yet. So A stream probably popping off. Let's be real, you've probably already jumped over to the A stream for some seat action. But get this up on the second monitor and wait.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're still here, I don't know what to say.
Check out the Jake and Guns podcast. You can get more of this.
Welcome to the Jake and Guns podcast. We've got to film one as well when we get back from Riyadh and kind of encapsulate and cover all of what's happened stage 1, EWC as well. Just watching as Weibo Gaming kind of walk on by now after they lost to Shopify, but I think you can hold your head high a little bit if you Weibo. I mean, 7-5 is a close result against the top team.
Yeah, Shopify is quality.
They are very quality. By the way, must I say, for Meepy, in a suit in Riyadh, he has chosen the wrong attire.
That is
As I watch him walk out into the sun, I can't help but question what he's doing. He looks sharp, though.
He's already melting.
He looks sharp, but yeah, he looks like he's melting now as he walks outside. By the way, a couple of the players here that we've got in our game did end up kind of getting out from their desks, I think, to go to the toilet, have a break.
I think I might need a toilet break this one, of course, consuming liters of water.
The casters don't get a toilet break. But they are all starting to sit back down once again. Lobby is formed, 10 players in, and hopefully it's 4th time the charm.
I have faith. I think we'll be good. Get back into this one.
We can see FearX is setting up on the C stream as well. They'll be taking on Virtus.pro.
That has the potential to be quite a good game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But I do feel like Virtus.pro is such a well-seasoned, experienced team. They've got that LAN experience. FearX, of course, made some waves over at Reload in Rio earlier this year. They had a pretty dominant run in APAC North as well, largely uncontested, outside of maybe a little bit by D+. But ultimately, certainly one of the teams that we consider coming out of APAC to be the best. Weibo then maybe closely following behind. Virtus.pro will be a tough ask. Winner of that particular game that's over on the C stream between FearX and Virtus.pro will take on the winner of FaZe Clan and Dark Zero, which, by the way, I watched FaZe and Dark Zero walk in probably about an hour ago, and they're still waiting.
They're chilling out.
They're chilling big time. Fist bumps go round. game loads up. Could this be the moment that Skyscraper continues between G2, Gen.G at 3-2? Still with all of the controversy of that earlier 5th round, we move on. Round 6, no match point, bans are in, and we are good to go. As Doki says, good luck, have fun. I don't think anyone's been having fun right now, but maybe they will be in this next round to come and the second half to follow after. It is the final round of this opening half for what's been full of controversy. It's been fun. Gen.G have been good. Nako on the opening kills has been great. Obviously, Loira, the top fragger for G2 right now. We've lost, of course, the KDA numbers, but we can kind of keep in the back of our mind where things are at. And we are back underway. Thank you, everyone, of course, for sticking around, understanding these things happen. We move forward.
And it's the tertiary site in play, Kitchen Barbecue for the final round of the half. Can Gen.G claim that third attacking round? It would be a big boost. Heading into the second half, G2, the best attacking team in EML. Fully expecting them, even on Skyscraper, to show some strength. Map clear, looking to be the play for Gen.G as they spawn on the opposing side of the map. They have the flank watch in play for the Nomad, Dockerby as well for the clear, and Lurk potential, which has been a big win con for some of these attacks from Gen.G, where they've been able to break apart the defense and crack it open, as opposed to a more head-on, util-focused approach. Blackbeard as well will persist. I'm a little intrigued that G2 didn't take off the board. I know we mentioned that a little bit prior to the rehost, because it has been rather powerful as kind of expected in the current meta.
Previous round was Tea Room Karaoke. We go down below over towards Barbecue. But it'll be a rather similar hold, and it was Stompin on the Azami, what feels like a lifetime ago, that was holding drums with these keyword barriers against Azox on the Blackbeard. So we get a pretty similar dance to take place in the 6th round as we did in the 5th round. But it's Deadshot with the opening kill on to Blaz. That's a big start over towards the mezzanine. They shut him down, but Stompin goes for the swing. He goes for the reaggress, and he finds the kill onto Deadshot. Azox was not prepared. He hadn't got shield up at that doorway and takes a big Nitrocell as well. And he's now low on health. Big moment from Stompin to find that kill. And Doki then gets rid of Skies, and it's falling apart now for Gen.G to close the opening half.
Stompin playing this position previously over towards Drum and just has a good sense on when it's the correct decision to peel back, and that seems to be the moment now with about 70 seconds on the clock. Is barbed wire getting tapped over towards delivery. It can work with Doki to lock down this portion of the map.
Top floor vacated now as well for G2. They'll play horizontal, first floor only, so pantry positions, Barbecue. Black stairs as well. And so for Gen.G, you haven't really got a whole lot to really utilize from that top floor position anyway. You don't have the sledge. You kind of have to probably just go direct 3v4, but your Blackbeard's quite low. So even that is not really something you want to do. 40 seconds left on the clock, and Gen.G still need to figure out how they want to attack this site. And they lose Nako as well to Stompin. So after all the delays, after the big break, it's G2 that are coming out the other side of that for the better to close out the opening half, and it seems like they will reach that 4-2 scoreline. Don't forget, it was a 2-1 lead to Gen.G, and then a 1v1 that could have made it 3-1. So G2 have really brought this game back into their lead now, and Stompin with a third. Whoa. And he finishes it off with all 4 kills for G2 in that round. He got 4 of them. Well, statement moment from Stompin. He started a little bit quiet before the big tech issues, but immediately afterwards, he's the one that comes out the other side looking the better. 4 kills for him, a 4-2 lead for G2, and now we go into the second half. Bans underway.
And that's the kind of round, the kind of moment that a player like Stompin will be really thankful for, finding comfort here on the LAN environment. 4K big for him, did a good job holding. Drum initially peeled back, still had impact, and was able to take out some of those key players. As we enter the second half, of course, a new ban phase, Bandit Clash in combination with double Hard Breach on the Thermite and Habana. So there'll be quite a reliance on Ace here for G2 to kick things off, and shield play will be absolutely critical as well. with them all now being available for attack.
Yeah, statistically as well, when it comes to Gen.G, one of the biggest strengths for them, and I know this is in retrospect now, was actually getting plants down in EML. They had the biggest percentage rate at getting plants down. I feel like we didn't really see that a whole lot outside of a couple of rounds in that first half, so they didn't really get that strength of their game going. So you've mentioned it a couple times, G2, the best attacking team when it comes to EML. But only 46% entries. They did struggle a little bit in that department, by and large, in the first half. But that's something to kind of keep in mind. And Alamau on the Montang might help facilitate some of those entries here on Skyscraper attack for G2 in this second half.
Did Falcons just lose over on A stream? I'm hearing some yelling and some screaming, and the body language of Julia didn't look all too happy. So that could be an intriguing result over there.
I mean, from where we're standing, we can't really see it at all.
I saw him give a very mild shake of the hand to one of the players at the end. So could be a very, very intriguing result over there. But back here on the B stream, getting ready for G2 on attack round 7. Deimos in play. That'll be a key tool in looking to disrupt some of the aggression from Gen.G, especially with that Ella in play. Nako given the license to
Doki lurking on the Deimos as well is going to be really influential. We didn't see a lot of lurk entry play necessarily by Gen.G. Certainly at times Nako was able to push into deeper positions and find kills, but certainly not like a Deimos, for instance, going for some really big lurks. Doki will just sit right now in bathroom. Team Circuit, by the way, did win against Falcons on the A stream. That is a huge result. Knocks them straight into that lower bracket. Lawyer up with the opening kill on the entry for G2 though, and Stompin to follow immediately. So since the rehost, 5 and zip for Stompin. I think he was about 2 and 4 from memory prior to when everything kind of started. But that means that for Gen.G, their opening defense is just being picked apart. G2 doing as they please. Blaz then gets rid of Nako. The plant can go down from Alamau, and Adzox is all that remains. He's not doing anything to stop that. Stompin starts it, finishes it, and G2 start to get on a roll on Skyscraper.
Yeah, some of that firepower diff now on display in that opening attack from G2. Brute forcing their way into the objective, and the response from Gen.G not quite there, not up to par.
This was my fear, and this is where I feel like for Gen.G now as well is they can't use the tech issues and the delays as an excuse because both teams were affected by it equally. Now suddenly you're facing a 5-2 deficit, and don't forget back EML stage 1 group stage, G2 lost. Gen.G lost to G2. 7-2. Could it happen again?
So as expected, the Deimos will persist into the second attack. We saw the death marks be rather effective in the prior round in negating some of the early aggression from the Alla and then also just confirming position late round, so that was cool to see. On the side of defense, Sentry in play here, interestingly enough here for Deadshot.
Impacts and barbed wire. Shotgun as well.
Yeah, not the most typical operator to see on defense.
I'd like to see aggression then, potentially by Gen.G, especially from Deadshot. Just try and see if they can counter G2's early aggression that we saw from the previous round. You want to basically try and just meet them at the door. Doki got a nice early lurk. Early kill from Blaz. Stompin did it as he pleased. So Gen.G need to be a little bit more on the forward front foot rather than just sit back, play sight, and allow G2 to get this map control. You can see a little bit of this horizontal defense. Nako finds himself over towards Exhibition. Deadshot roaming around through Shrine.
Just the one summer up now for Blaz if he elects to use that for some ranged hard breach potential. Again, noting that both the other primary hard breaches banned out. Leaves the Mav, but unlikely to see playtime here on Skyscraper. Probably looking to posture and play around the Ying here. That's the most likely win con for G2 as we see a Candela pop off, but that is into the drum position. held by Warden.
Already one gas babe used as well by Skies. It's rather early as the smoke that wants to play deep, especially over towards Black Stairs. You want to deny these kind of positions. Only 2 gas babes left at this point. More pressure comes to him soon, and he could be out really early. So far, so good, though, for Gen.G. I mean, this is really what you want. You want that clock ticking down. Diffuser's still outside of the map. G2 are just trying to get some position over towards Dragon and Shrine, and they clear out towards Mezzanine. Kandala, deep push, Loira in towards the site, and they did not even realize how quick he was moving. Huge entry from Loira. Now a 4v1 with that kill from Alamau onto Nako, and as was the previous round, Azox in a 1v4, not possible. 6-2 lead for G2, steamrolling now on Skyscraper. It's just picking up the pace and choosing when they want to hit. As soon as they got that Shrine control, smoke off Mez, push through, and it just seemed like Gen.G were not ready.
Yeah, they didn't mess around. They've got the systems and they've got the utility in play ready to go. In the meantime, Gen.G called their attack timeout, now trailing 4 match points. Really good display of just team differential. Last 2 rounds of the attack, it's really highlighted on Skyscape. And when a team is completing a successful attack like that and there's still a minute on the clock, there's a significant skill gap between 2 teams. And G2 currently out on top. And in terms of their team specifically, who's on top, Stompin, 6-0 after the rehost.
Yeah, I mean, he's been sensational. And it's actually really important to highlight that because as a young player, first-time LAN, you're also first-time experiencing triple, quadruple tech delays and lobby rehosts and having to deal with that mentally and physically in this arena where it is quite warm. And he responds in the best possible way by just being so sharp out of the gate, 6-0, ultra impact. That is the highlight of a player who's got so much potential. The opposite cannot be said for Gen.G, who really, ever since those tech issues, ever since those delays, they have just looked far more not involved. Like, it's like not a contest anymore. I was excited. It was a great start. Gen.G were 2-1 up, and they were getting some good attacking rounds. They arguably could have and maybe should have been 3-1 up, and ever since then, it's just been total capitulation, and G2 have just flexed their muscles, got too much strength, too much pace, too much firepower, and too much control on this map now. G2, they'll be looking ahead to their matchup against Shopify Rebellion, and boy, does that promise to be a good one.
Yeah, at the very opening phase of this match, I was starting to get a little bit nervous about just how confident we were in a G2 victory, but I think the last few rounds especially have really confirmed that prediction as being rather correct. Anything can still happen from this point, but G2 steamrolling on attack Skyscraper does not bode well for Gen.G. Shield again in play.
This is
again,
a nice
not
little
banned
drone
out
as well from Alamau.
I haven't been tracking drone economy in comparison to Gen.G. I know it was a big talking point. Gen.G often, minute to go in the round, had 1 drone up or 2 drones up. For G2, they seem to have a really good read on these executes and are playing them out with really good efficiency as well.
Early position, although Toki gets his head ripped off by Skies. An opening pick for Gen.G, and boy, did they need that at this moment in time. I wonder if that, to me, felt like a heat check from Doki in terms of what can we get away with against the Gen.G defense that has looked quite lax. Alamau pushed forward, and on the back of him, playing behind the shield, it's Stompin, of course, opening pick for G2. Blaz will lose his life, though, in response, courtesy of Deadshot. But you've still got some key pieces on the board in Loira and Stompin to play behind the Montang. You can't think of a better trio.
Yep, these 3 have been firing. Stompin, yellow, ping, drum. That's Deadshot down. Loira to find the pick.
Still know that they've got 2 players in Draken right now for Gen.G.
So and Alamau knows where they both are.
Alamau knows exactly where they both are. It sets up for Loira and Stompin. Nitro from Nako. They need to deal with the Montang or look to pull back and reset, play the site. Loira as well with the death mark. He almost takes himself out with the nade. Asa's going to be able to trade Loira, who got the kill onto Nako, and it's Stompin in a 1v1. Of course it is. Looking to close this map out with Alamau on the floor. Asa looking to deny. Oh, there's no denying how good this kid is. G2 will